Advisor Corey Lewandowski joins me now. All right, Corey, first thing I want to ask you is, how do you feel? You had COVID?
Judge, I feel good. I feel strong. I had a little bit of a headache, but I think I'm on the other side of this thing. I just took a couple vitamins, over-the-counter stuff, and I feel great.
I have a feeling there's not much that keeps you down. Anyway, today there was a huge rally in Washington for the president, and a lot of people out there with their Trump signs, and we can see it on the screen there, and rallying for the president. I know the bikers are there. I just spoke to Chris Cox, the Bikers for Trump, and it is a pretty special day. What say you about that?
Well, Judge, the great part was President Trump actually drove through that rally. If you saw that, he took the motorcade through it, and he, just wanted to show everybody how thankful he was that they came out to support him. And look, when the Trump people come and rally, what happens at the end is the city will be cleaner than when it was when they got there. So the people of D.C. should be very thankful that the Trump supporters are there, because they're probably cleaning up that filthy city.
All right, Corey, let's talk about the fact that I believe the day after the election, you were dispatched to Pennsylvania. I don't know if it was Philly, Pittsburgh. Where did you go? What did you see?
Judge, I went with Pam Bondi to Philadelphia, to the large counting facility at the convention center, where we attempted to enter the convention center so we could watch the counting of the ballots that was going on at that time 24 hours a day. We were summarily told we couldn't come in there. They had an armed guard that stopped us first. They had magnetometers, and they had uniformed police officers who threatened to arrest us if we went in. So we stopped. We went. We got a court order. The Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania issued us an order that allowed us to enter the facility and stand within 6 feet of all of the activities taking place inside there. I presented that order to both the chairman of the Board of Elections in the city of Pennsylvania, in the city of Philadelphia. I called the sheriff to enforce the order, the duly elected sheriff of Philadelphia County. He wouldn't even respond to our call, said he wasn't coming. And I also presented that same order that the judge issued to the deputy superintendent of the police department in the city of Philadelphia. And they said, you have no enforcement mechanism. And if you cross this line, we'll put you in jail. Judge, never in my life have I had a judge's order in my hand that was duly authorized by the judge that said I had the opportunity to do something and have the police still threaten to arrest me. As a former police officer, never would I ever have said to somebody who had a valid judge's order, I'm not going to enforce that order. And it was something that tells me there was clearly some shenanigans going on, or else they would have let us in per the judge's order, not threatened to arrest us, but they did everything possible to keep us away from the ballots that we're counting. And only once they stopped counting ballots on Friday morning of last week did they then say, Mr. Lewandowski, you're welcome to enter and sit here and see nothing going on.
That is an incredible statement. And I believe that what is going on in Philadelphia as it relates to Pennsylvania and the lawsuits? I mean, did you sign an affidavit?
Judge, what we know is that the courts ruled that the ballots that were coming in after 8 o'clock on election night, the close of the polls, have to be segregated out. This is the same statement that Judge Samuel Alito, the U.S. Supreme Court, made. Now, they say that they were going to segregate those out, but we have no way to know. Judge, the room that they're counting in Philadelphia is literally the size of a football field or bigger. It's a massive convention center. They had bike racks set up, so the closest we could get was about 12 feet away from the closest table, and literally 60 to 80 yards away from the tables in the back of the room where they were counting. I approached the man who was in charge, one Mr. Bluestein, and I asked him why he wasn't following the judge's order that gave us permission to be anywhere we wanted. And he said, well, you know what, I'll take that under advisement. All of a sudden, Mr. Bluestein was going to take the judge's order under advisement to see if he had to comply with it. And what did they do? They then turned around and they appealed it to the state Supreme Court, who overruled the Commonwealth's judge and stayed the order. So Corey they got their way, Judge, but they completely disregard the law.
Amazing. Corey Lewandowski. Thanks so much. We'll be right back.